rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who be caught up in using what I was taught with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, outcasted like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's your number one chief rockin' Knicks Universe, your main man, Uncle Freezy, and welcome to the premiere Knicks in the Nighttime show, the Knicks at Night podcast. If this is your first time rocking with us, if this is new to you, consider subscribing to the channel and hit that like button. Whether you're new or not, hit that like button, man. Let's get these likes up. So I have a lot of stuff that I want to talk about, and I want to talk about it in a truthful and unbiased way. Andios is in the building. Salute. Pastor J is in the building. Michelle Wadler was good. Salute, salute, salute. King Imbert is in the building. Salute. So I had this thing. I had to jot some notes down so that I wouldn't lose my train of thought. And so I'm going to try to look at the notes and at the same time, try not to be overly emotional about this team that I love and at the same time can't figure out. So before I get into that, I just want to say hello to everybody. Miguel P in the building. So before I really get into it, I'm just gonna say hello to everybody and just ask everybody just to bear with me, man, as I don't want to sound like a homer, and at the same time, I don't want to sound like I don't want to cry wolf. Trini, what's good, bro? So let me start by saying I'm upset. Right? No big deal. In the 82 game schedule, you're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some, whatever. But I'm not upset about losing to the Charlotte Hornets, right? Let me start there. Right? I'm not upset by that. Things happen. Right? What I'm ultimately upset about is the fact that I felt like we are championship contenders and we don't look like it. And on certain nights, we look terrible. And when we were winning 17 games a season, when Noah Vonleh tried to be a point power forward, I could laugh and say, you know what? These guys not going to be here for the long term. Noah Vonleh, Mario Hazonia, Emmanuel Mudiay, Trey Burke, Frank Ntilikina, guys, Mo Harkless. I could legit take a loss, and that loss legitimately would be like, you know what? That's a stepping stone to something else. And so when you're a loser and you lose, knowing the sky's the limit, you can take certain losses and be like, yo, that's one to grow on. Right? Some losses are you just take them. You just take the L and be like, you know what? We'll be better next year. But I'm just gonna point out, some things, right? And I don't want to sway you one way or the other. Actually, I am here for, and I know this is gonna sound weird, but I am here so y'all can help comfort me. Right? I don't feel like I'm a big star. I'm not a big star in Knicks universe. Right? I'm not rubbing elbows with people. I don't look for that. I have a great life. Right? Cash in the building. Salute. Yo, my main man, Keith Turner, is in the building. Like I said, I'm not a big Knicks celebrity. I don't want to be that. That's not me. I have a good life, man. Sweet life, man. You know, I don't need to rub elbows with like rappers and others and stuff like that, man. I just don't. Right? And that's not my thing. I like being with the people. And in a selfish way, I kind of hope the people like being here with us. Like real people. You know what I'm saying? But my thing though, what I do want is for my Knicks to win a championship. That's what I want. What I do want is for my people that want a championship to experience that soon. And what I've learned over the years is that people in Knicks universe kick the can down the road. Right? There are people in our fan base that'll kick the can down the road because they feel like they have time, but they have no idea what time is. People in our family are gonna use terms like championship window, this summer, develop, draft picks. What's another word another term that we'll use for kicking the can down the road? Extensions. All of that stuff refers to the future. Right? In a perpetual cycle of talking about the future, extensions, development, max rookie extension, draft picks, championship window, all these things refer to a later date, right? Down the road. Meaning we take time for granted. Meaning we take the future for granted. Meaning the moment is not the essence of our being. Meaning our hearts are not where our feet are. Fritz Alcenda's in the building. Salute. Meaning our hearts, our emotions. Well, no, let me take that back. Emotions, definitely where our feet are. Our hearts, though, no. The reason why I start the show with that instead of pointing out the players that had good games and bad games is I honestly feel like that, me saying this is 1 out of 82 is getting old and older every day. I look back at a few games. I look back at the Hornets game, 115-98. Look back at the Spurs game, 120 over at 120 Spurs, Knicks 105. We blow out the Heat in a game that clearly the Heat were overmatched. We lose to the Warriors by 6, even though OG Anunoby hit a 3 at the buzzer. So the score looks like we lost by 3, but we actually were losing by 6 by 2 possessions or greater. We beat the Portland Trail Blazers in overtime, right? We blow out the Sacramento Kings. Right. But here's the thing. Here's my thing with it. We could have easily lost all of those games except the Miami game. The Miami game is like, yeah, you know what? We just blew it. Miami's trash. Miami's trash. The Sacramento game, we probably, yeah. The Sacramento game, we probably would have beat Sacramento also. But the Portland game, we could have easily have lost that also. And even though we didn't, I think it's still important to note that the Knicks are on the knife's edge. And that's not a fun place to be. Right? We're on the knife's edge, right? That's not a fun place to be for a fan base that think that we are legitimate championship contenders. Now, here's the thing. And I'm going to point out some stuff in Knicks universe, right? So I'm going to point out some things in Knicks universe so I'm going to blister some folks without saying their names. Now that we have platforms and such, where we can reach you guys and talk to you, like we can legitimately reach into your homes or come across your phone or come across your computer, come across your television. We can say anything to sway you to not be a fan, but be a consumer. One of the things that I really wanted to be when I started this channel was have this thing be a Knicks fans channel where we could all hang out and be fans of the team, but in a vicarious way, be a fan of each other, right? And not all of us be fans of all of us, but enjoy the conversation, like a conversation about one thing that brings a lot of people together so that we can chop it up, have fun, fellowship about a common thing. But what I notice is that you, the fan, have been shot the gas by some that disguise as one thing, but want you to be consumers. Now, if you're ready to be a consumer, consume. Right? If you're ready to be a consumer, consume. Shit, consume here. Right? But and by offering consumption, this thing, our views are not our own. Our views are not the things that are in our hearts. So I'm sitting here in front of my computer late in the night talking to fans about narratives. Because what I've been hearing over the past year or so is not that, hey man, you're a fan, I'm a fan. What interests you? Does it align with what interests me? Right? What's on your mind and can we talk about it? What you're hearing is old school pet store parakeeting. People have built relationships in certain places, so they don't say what is obviously true. They tell you what is safe for them to say to keep a relationship intact. Right? So why am I saying this, right? So JJ, why am I saying this instead of talking about the game? Right? Miguel P, why am I saying this instead of talking about tonight's game? Well, tonight's game is an indicator. It's an absolute true value piece of what's wrong with this team. Right? DJ Cash in the building, salute. Vinici in the building, salute. Yo, and you better keep commenting too. I'll be reading your stuff, talking about sipping the Kool-Aid. Right? I see you. You better keep commenting too. Yeah, that's an order. So my thing is, tonight's loss at Charlotte is not 1 out of 82, right? It's not, hey, your best player is missing and you ran into a buzzsaw. It's not you played in San Antonio last night and then now you're playing tonight in Charlotte. No. The franchise has flaws everywhere. The franchise has flaws everywhere. And listen, I'm a Knicks fan. Man, I've been a Knicks fan longer than Karl Anthony Towns has been alive. I've been a Knicks fan longer than Jalen Brunson has been alive. I'm probably a couple years older than Jalen Brunson's father. Right? But to say that everything is fine and we've established a culture and our culture prevents us from complaining or talking about certain things, is a culture of isolation and lying. That's what it is. Many of you are somewhere between the age of 21 and 70. Many of you are somewhere between 21 and 70. That's a wide range, right? But the reason why I point that out is not because I care about your age. I care about your experience. And so your experience tells you that every organization striving to be something doesn't always get it right. And if you're between the age of 21 and 70 or so, you've seen dysfunctional organizations that don't get it right, though they function. They function through malfunction, but they won't call themselves dysfunctional. They'll say things like, we're establishing a culture. You've seen it. I'm going to use JJ for an example. JJ, have you ever gone to get fast food and they promise you it's going to be fast? And then you get your food and you turn to go away and then you realize your order is wrong? And then you go back to get your order corrected and they look at you as if you made the mistake? Y'all have ever worked at a place where every day there's dysfunction and you just hope the direct deposit hit every Friday or every other Friday or every 2 weeks? You're like, I'm gonna survive in this dysfunction and just wait on payday. Have you been there? Have you ever been a part of an organization that makes promises, right? They under promise and over deliver? If you've ever been at a place that has under promised and over delivered, have you heard that term before? Have you ever experienced that? Where you under promise and over deliver. What I'm saying to you is our Knicks are at a place called plateau. Right? Our Knicks are at a place called plateau. And we've been there for about 3 years. But the plateau we're on is bumped up against the next plateau. And we think all we have to do is just climb to the next plateau. But even thinking that is ridiculous. Who wants to put all of their energy into climbing to the next plateau? Right? That's where we are and where we have been. But we use terms like under promise and over deliver. What that means is you set the bar low, and if you barely crossed the bar, you delivered more than you promised. So if you set the bar on the floor and you crawl over the bar, then you cross the bar. Instead of saying, it is this or bust. See, because if you say it's this or bust, everyone involved knows if you don't reach that lofty goal, you're going to be held accountable for it. What if the Knicks said, instead of saying, hey, we're going to establish a culture, which means absolutely nothing, establishing a culture is a public relations term. Think about this. The Miami Heat said they established a culture, right? But what if they won without 3 Hall of Famers? I hear people say it a lot, man. The Heat have a culture. They even have the word written on the floor. Heat culture. Do you know when the Heat won their last championship, they had 4 Hall of Famers on the roster? When the Miami Heat won their last championship, they had 4 Hall of Famers on their roster. And now that they don't have any Hall of Famers, they get blown out by the Knicks. I'm sorry. It's just what it is. Culture is a buzz term. And so right now, I feel like the lone Knicks fan out in the wilderness trying to save his brothers and sisters from narratives. People click the go live button and they're going to have fancy graphics. They're going to do all of these things. They're going to say all these things, and nobody talks basketball, like on the floor. Like, we all watch basketball on the floor, and then when the show starts, we start talking everything else. I'm talking to you guys, right? The fans, the supporters, the people, the heartbeat of what makes this Knicks thing go. I'm talking to you. You guys watch these, bro. They're like, last I checked, there are like 150 Knicks content creators, and God bless them. Some of them I'm super duper friends with, right? Shout out to Eru and Divine and Tony Crow and Queen B and Fritz Alcindor and Jay Ellis and a lot of people that I'm really, really close with. Like, maybe not Sunlight. Jay Ellis, I talk to him like once in a while, maybe once or twice a year, 2 or 3 times a year, something like that. What's my guy? I keep forgetting his name. We're in a basketball league together. Do all the dope CK2K. We in a basketball league together. I go to the draft every year, submit a lineup, and I don't talk to them dudes again until it's time to do a draft again. And that's my fault. It's not like they're rude to me. It's just life. Hey, Turner, trust. I'm getting to this. I'm getting this. Hold that. I'm getting to this. Yeah. Hey, yep. CK2K is dope. Yep. I really like him. Nothing against him. I like him a lot. But I feel like this guy in the wilderness saying, "Hey, everybody, stop falling for these narratives." Right? Like there are content creators. Their thing is not basketball or Knicks. They don't know anything about basketball. It takes 20 of them, 30 of them to talk basketball. They talk narratives. Hey man, Cat is soft. What do you think, folks? Yo, y'all ain't talking about nothing. Yeah, Mitchell Robinson can't stay healthy. Well, it depends on if there are a lot of Mitch fans in the chat, it's, yo, we can't win without Mitch. But then if it's not a lot of Mitch fans in the chat, hey, we're paying Mitch, man. We got to get this production and he won't. What I'm saying is, on a grand scale, we, the fan, the patron, the consumer, are being shot the gas because of your interaction and not because of your fandom. Help me grow a channel, man. We're on our way to 1 million subscribers. For what? If you get 1 million subscribers, how does that help the fan? Sure. If I, man, listen, when I go live and if I was to see 1,000 of y'all every time I click the button, I'd be like, hey man, Uncle Freezy, you really be doing something, boy. Not only are you handsome, but it's, little stuff, whatever. But nights like tonight tell me that the Knicks are not just losing to Charlotte because they had an off night. The franchise legitimately may have hit their glass ceiling and we don't know it, because our heart is telling us this summer we're going to trade for Giannis. Our heart is telling us our championship window is going to be open for 5 years. Our hearts are telling us that we have time. And what I'm telling you as an internet friend is that no one controls time. No one controls time. You can't talk to me about a championship window when you, as a Knicks fan, has never experienced a championship window. You can't talk to me about the Knicks pulling off the such and such and such and such. Man, you got to give Leon Rose this summer. Nah, I ain't got to give Leon Rose shit. Because this summer will be his 6th off season. Right? Well, people are gonna say, man, you gotta give Tom Thibodeau his team because his team. I ain't gotta give Tom Thibodeau shit. Because this offseason, he'll be going into his 6th season. IKBM Dre told me a few months ago that it took Denver 8 seasons to win a championship. Right? They have legitimately a top 10 player of all time playing right now. Some people think Giannis is the GOAT of this generation when Jokic legitimately could have won 5 MVPs in a row. It took Denver 8 seasons with potentially a top 20 player of all time. What player on the Knicks roster is a top 20 player of all time? Oh, I thought somebody was going to give me the answer. I'm sorry. I was waiting on the answer. I thought somebody was going to say Brunson. And that's my guy, by the way. Jalen Brunson's my guy. I like Jalen Brunson. I like Cat. I like OG. I really like Mikal Bridges. I like Mitch. But what I don't like is losing to the Charlotte Hornets with 3 of their key rotation players out and their backup center traded away to a contender. We lost to a Charlotte Hornets team without Brandon Miller, without Trey Mann, and without Tijan Salon, whoever it is. I don't care if they're good or not. They were in Charlotte's rotation. Nick Richards was traded away to Phoenix. So they're missing 4 guys in their rotation that they started the season with. And we were missing Jalen Brunson and Mitch. And they blew us out. And our coach stood on the sidelines looking like Mr. Magoo. Now, I know a lot of y'all don't know who Mr. Magoo is. Uncle Freezy keep using these old terms, man. Mr. Magoo, who the hell is that? For the older crowd, just chuckle to yourself. Keep it to yourself. But the Knicks, with an all-star center, the highest paid free agent this summer, and a dude that was traded for with 6 first-round picks, lost to a lottery team. Bad. And the coach didn't have any answers. But he wins the press conferences. He says stuff like, we're tough. That's not in our culture. We didn't have those conversations. All that means nothing, bro. It's 2025. At what point are the Knicks going to get away from under promising and over delivering and saying it's championship or bust? Because if we under promise and over deliver, we can say stuff like, yeah, our championship window starts next year. So this championship window for this coaching front office starts from year 6 through 10. That's the championship window? Think about what's being said. Under promise and over deliver. Our championship window really was supposed to start next year in years 6 through 10. And then think about what happened the previous 5 years. What were we doing? What have we been doing the past 5 years? What have we been doing the past 5 years that makes a Knicks fan think that years 6 through 10 is going to guarantee us one championship? See, losing to Charlotte is not, that's the tip of the iceberg. Losing to San Antonio, who didn't have a center, and you had 2 centers, 7-footers. We got blown out by a team that had a 6'8" center that was 37 years old and a 6'8" center who's really a small forward that think he's Dennis Rodman. I had something written down and I totally got away from it, man. And I apologize. See, that's why when I start, man, I'm like the president on this, man. I have some notes, and then as soon as I start talking, bro, I go off on something else. I try to stay structured with y'all, and then as soon as I start, man, the whole thing frustrates me so much. And I appreciate y'all being patient with me as I get this thing off my chest. What I'd like is transparency. What I'd like is transparency. JJ, listen, I got you. I got you. Trust me, I got you. So I'm going to answer JJ's question since it's here, right? And then there's another one I saw. Basically, it's I forgot what it was, but we'll get back to it. So JJ, here's the thing. In order to be a championship contender, you have to have a balance of great ownership, great leadership, great coaching, great players, great medical staff, and great analytics. right? But what the Knicks did, and I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I could be right. I don't know. What I'll assume, though, is that I'm right because my heart tells me I'm right. And it's like that song. If your heart isn't in it, if your heart isn't in it, then why would you tell me so? Y'all know the song. Y'all know that song. DJ Cash, you know that song what I'm talking about? I think it's Atlantic Star. I think it's Atlantic. If your heart isn't in it, if your heart isn't in it, then why did you tell me so? Right? Whatever. I can't sing. I'm not a singer. Here's the thing, JJ. Yes. The Knicks went for it too soon. Yes. Yes. Did we go for it too soon? Yes. And I'll tell you when we went for it too soon. When we sacrificed talent for chemistry. When you sacrifice talent for chemistry, then you're banking on chemistry. You're banking that chemistry will overcome talent. You're thinking that the chemistry of guys that played together in college and won a championship or two in college can take that and translate that to the NBA. The best player, the most NBA ready player out of that group was Mikal Bridges. The player with the most upside out of those players was supposedly Dante DiVincenzo. Right? The most NBA ready player was Josh Hart. Come in right away, day one, be a role player. Right? And the player out of that group that in that Jalen Brunson, Amari Spellman, Ryan Arcidiacono group of you don't know what you're gonna get if all of these guys work hard, they may be something. It was Jalen Brunson. And there's no harm in saying Jalen Brunson was in that something has to go right group. Right? Because something was gonna go right with Jalen Brunson because he's a hooper. Right? Jalen Brunson has everything you need to be a successful NBA player. But how successful? Nobody knew. Nobody knew. Nobody knew Jalen Brunson was going to be a star except what was in Jalen Brunson's heart. Nobody knew that. Nobody knew Jalen Brunson was going to be this good. Not even Jalen Brunson. But something was in Jalen Brunson's heart that took him to another level. And then another level. And then another level. So, JJ, to your point, did we go for it too soon? Yes. JJ, did we go for it the wrong way? Also, yes. The ideal situation for a bucket getter that's not going to really give you anything else was go get a star so that Jalen Brunson can be 1B. I'm sorry, y'all. If y'all wanted me to say something else, I'm sorry. It is what it is. Because if Jalen Brunson is your 1A, and I like Jalen Brunson a lot. If Jalen Brunson is your 1A, everything around Jalen Brunson has to be pitch perfect. You have to have an all-star center that's also, you have to have a nuclear offensive center that's also a black hole defender. Those guys don't exist. You have to go out and get flexible wing players that can lock down on defense and give you 20 points a game and stay healthy and be affordable. Those guys don't exist. You have to have a very tall point guard that can play make next to Jalen Brunson so that defenses won't legitimately laser focus on Jalen Brunson every night. Those guys don't exist. Right? Imagine a LaMelo Ball that is also an elite defender. Those guys don't exist. John Smith in the building. Ed Winning, what's good? Ribs is in the building. Salute to my guy, Ribs. So yes and yes. I think the Knicks went for it in a way. But it all started with missteps. It all started with Kemba Walker. Drip more in the building. Salute. I think it started with Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier. That's what I think. Remember, we didn't sign Evan Fournier as a free agent outright. We did a sign and trade for Evan Fournier. We sent draft picks to Boston for the right to sign Evan Fournier. And if you don't believe me, look it up. No big deal. Every transaction you make is not going to be a great transaction. We get that. We get who thinks every transaction is going to be a home run? Nobody's naive. But if we have to point back to a stitch of time, surprise, that's it right there. And yeah, hey, Johnson, yeah, you know you my guy. As soon as I see the Bible, you know you my guy automatically. So, however we got here to where we are, I think every step of the way, the Knicks could have been in a better place if the Knicks had an innovator, right? If the Knicks had an innovator, then regardless of what the front office did, we could have corrected it, right? The sign of a good coach is this. Hey, what kind of personnel do we have? Oh, those are their strengths? We're going to play to those strengths. Oh, those are their weaknesses? We're going to play to our strengths. We're going to try to tinker with the weaknesses and fix them as we play to our strengths. But a good leader is going to take the strengths of the group and progress the group. The sign of a good leader is not barking through adversity. It's like me being the leader of this channel, right? I'm the leader of this channel. And guys will come on and they'll do their thing. And I'll be like, nah, man, let them go. Let them stop cutting them off. Let them talk. And then other nights, I'll be like, hold on, dog. No. You can't just say such and such. Nobody knows what's in your mind. What's in your mind may be sharp to you, but we can't read your mind. And so you have to communicate that thing. And so you're like, no, dog, nope, stop right there. You got to say such and such. And like, you can't tell me what to say. Yes, I can. I'm going to tell you that we can't read your mind. And so you have to communicate a different way. And if you don't know how to communicate, you just can't be here. I'm sorry. JJ, does that sound about right? Does that sound about right? A leader is going to take the strengths of the group and highlight the strengths of that group while tinkering with the weaknesses, focus on the strengths of the group. Hey, my guy Jerry Fitz is in the building. Salute to Fitzy. Hey, Fitzy, you know what? I would be with you, bro, if this was year 2 of a 5-year thing. But this is year 5, dog. This is year 5. So it's like the same thing you told me in year 2, and then in year 3, and then in year 4. You can't tell me in year 5. Out of respect for me as a human being, like out of respect for y'all as human beings, I can't just keep keep shooting y'all the gas. I just can't keep shooting y'all the gas like y'all dummies. Right? Yeah, I think part of this thing, is that the culture around the Knicks is that people feel as if they can say anything and then y'all are going to take it. Not take it or leave it, because they know you're not going to leave. The thing about the Knicks fan base is that we're hungry. So they tell you anything and we accept it. It's not take it or leave it, because they know we're never going to leave. It's the reason why they're here. They're not here because blue and orange is a perfect combination of colors. They're not here because the franchise has won 30 championships. They're not here because MSG is the greatest arena ever. They are here because of us. Die hard. Live and die. Knicks all day, Knicks all night. Knicks all day, Knicks all night. That's why they're here. Because they can win 17 games and still be the what do you call it? Had the highest worth of any NBA team. The Knicks can win 17 games and still, what's the word I'm looking for? Be worth the most money in the world, or whatever it is. Think about what I'm saying. The Knicks can win 17 games and still be worth more than any other NBA team. And it's not because silver, orange, blue, white, and black is the perfect combination for colors. It's not because the Knicks have 15 championships. It's not because the Knicks have a Michael Jordan type guy on the roster. It's because of the fans. It's because of people like Wise. That's a diehard fan. And so that's why you get a million Knicks shows on the internet. And that's why people in Knicks universe can tell you anything because they know you're going to show up. I'm so frustrated. So I watched a bunch of joints after the game. I watched a bunch of content creators after the game. And of course, they side with establishment because establishment gives them inroads to exist. Instead of saying Tom Thibodeau looked like Mr. Magoo tonight, they'll say Karl Anthony Towns should have scored 40 points and grabbed 20 rebounds. And then when you ask for justification, like, yo, why should Cat grab 40 points, shoot 40 points and grab 25 rebounds? And they'll say, well, he was the all-star center. Well, shit, Tom Thibodeau is the NBA two-time NBA Coach of the Year, and y'all don't say nothing about when he get out-coached. Fritz is in the building. Salute, Fritz.
Hey, what's up? What's up?
Fritz.
Spitting today.
Why is it that when Cat has a 16-12 game, we throw Cat under the bus, but in that same game, Tom Thibodeau, who was the two-time NBA Coach of the Year in an 11-year career, that means Tom Thibodeau wins that award about every 5 years, right? Why is he never held accountable?
That's how they have it worked out. They the coaches in the front office are buddies.
Yeah. Not real King. I'm not defending Cat. I'm not defending Cat. Cat was just the example. Right? I could have said put Mikal Bridges. If Mikal Bridges scores 9 points and the other player score 40, it don't matter. Just anybody. I don't care. And I don't care. I was just using him because that's the most common name. I don't care. I don't care if it's Cat or one name we don't say is Brunson, and he's the captain. Y'all see how this dynamic is? Jalen Brunson's the captain and has been on the floor in games that we've got blown out by these teams that are better than us, and we point at Cat and OG and Brunson instead of holding the captain accountable. When are we going to do that? Fritz, you ever worked for a dysfunctional organization?
Absolutely.
And you know how, like, they'll buy you something, like they'll put a little rubber ducky on your desk with their company logo on it? They'll put a pen on your desk with the company name on it or something.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
that's culture.
That's the culture, right? Yeah. The culture is have the marketing department give this out to our employees so they can take this home and have it around their house. Because the number one customer is the employee. Fritz, you ever notice that? That like they have you wearing the polo shirt with their company name on it, and you be wearing it around town as you go shopping and stuff. And like, hey man, they gave out shirts at work. Nah, they advertising.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what was it? So you and I watched the game together. How'd you feel about the game?
It's concerning. It's concerning down the stretch. And I'm kind of concerned how people are responding to it. The fans, I don't know how you're not alarmed. Like if you're not, if you're looking at what the Knicks are doing, I'm alarmed.
Right. Yeah. I need somebody who in here might be older. A lot of wives may be old enough to remember this. Wise, you remember that song by Fushnikins, Ring the Alarm? Remember that? Wise, please tell me you remember that song, Ring the Alarm. If he don't remember that, I'll play it right now. I don't care. Fritz, you remember that song, Ring the Alarm by Fushnikins?
I remember who the Fushnikins were, but I don't remember the song.
Let me see. I'm going to see if I can find it. Fushnikins, Ring the Alarm. There it is. Let me see if I can play it.
A snippet, 10-second snippet.
Hey, ring the alarm. Another star is dying. Whoa, hey.
Yeah, okay.
Star is dying.
Yeah.
Whoa, hey. Yeah, I'm gonna ring the alarm. Another season's dying. Whoa, hey. Fritz, we were watching the end of that game, bro. When you and I don't know if you noticed this or not, Mets went off on a tangent, right? I'm a cuss at everybody. And I'm like, no, you're not. Yeah, you ain't gonna do that here. And LaMelo hit a 3 from like 30 feet, and I could just hear you side to the microphone, like, and I was like, yeah. I was like, yo, yeah. Everybody is what's the word that means you're just at your wit's end but feel helpless at the same time.
I would say deflated.
Exacerbated? Is that the word we're looking for? Deflated, that. And it's that feeling of when something can go wrong, it will go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But and you know that, and you see it coming, and there's nothing you can do. That feeling. I legitimately, everybody, I think the Knicks had cut the lead to 8, and LaMelo came down and hit a 3, right? We came down, OG got blocked at the rim or something crazy, and then LaMelo came down and hit another 3 to put them up 14, and Fritz Alcindor said, like, Tibbs, what are you doing? So, yeah. You ready to talk about this playoff thing, man?
I'm ready. I got a lot to say. I got a lot to say.
Would it be okay if you start? Because I've been at it for like 70 minutes. You want to start?
Okay. I kind of feel like it's a bad relationship coming to an end. Like I see it. You know when you and your girl ain't broke up yet, but you know it's gonna happen. Like, you know what? I checked out. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for something bad to happen.
You just waiting on your tax return to come in, so you can dip. Like you waiting for this loan. You applying for this loan, and they supposed to get back with you in 72 hours. That's what you waiting on. You waiting on the news. Like,
yeah,
loan. I'm gonna go get me an apartment uptown.
I ain't buying a new piece of furniture or nothing.
Nope.
I'm not buying anything. I ain't adding nothing to this house.
No, nothing. All you thinking about is buying a mattress for your new place with no furniture, just the lights and the mattress until you can buy things along and fix that apartment up. Right?
Yeah, it in my heart of hearts, it feels like it's over, but the bad thing ain't happened yet.
Yeah.
And I saw with people's responses, like we were on the Nick of Time show, and people are basically, oh no, this summer we can make a change. Like y'all already know it's over.
Yeah.
Y'all just don't want to admit it.
Right.
Y'all just have to see the thing happen.
Right.
But you know that this doesn't work.
Right.
But you know, everybody said, "Oh, we're a little too deep in the relationship." You know, we got to see it through.
So I got you. I got you. So you're saying, why do we go to the end of? Hey, is DSJ in the chat? DSJ, what's the name of the song? Them dudes be singing. They got the R&B clothes on and they tearing their shirts open, talking about why do we go something. Is DSJ in the chat? Fritz, you know the song I'm talking about? The Babyface song.
Babyface.
The Babyface wrote it. Babyface.
Is it? Oh, and it wrote?
Yeah, yeah. Why do? Yeah, that's. Yo, that's Tibbs and the Knicks. Tibbs is ripping his shirt open, talking about spinning it around and around. That's yo. Oh my god. DSJ, that's it. Tom Thibodeau is busting open his shirt like them R&B dudes talking about spinning and around and around.
Mm-hmm. you know, we're in that part of the relationship where, you know, she's just talking and you're like, just that noise.
Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Yeah, man. I'm trying to figure out. Yeah. Yo, you know what? Has DSJ been up here on Barnes Tears in a minute?
I haven't seen him in a minute.
DSJ ain't been up here in a minute, bro. Like, DSJ ain't been up here in a minute. Yeah, man. So yeah, that's what Tibbs is like. Tibbs and the Knicks are like Boys the Men singing End of the Road. You know the relationship has come to an end and you just playing out the string. And even though you had some successes and y'all look good together as a couple, and both of y'all have like great jobs or whatever, but it's just something missing and the breakup is on the way.
On the way.
Yeah, and then it's like every time you get together, somebody is like, on a perfect day, you know, I think it's DSJ. What's the song? on a perfect on a perfect day, I know that you can count it. What's the name of the song? Can You Stand the Rain?
Okay. Okay.
JJ is like, and still I can't let you go. Only want to be with you. Something with you. I can't leave you alone. Yeah, that's the Fabulous song, right? With Lil Mo. Fabulous. I think it's Fabulous.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I got you.
So Fritz, that's what you're saying. Like you're saying that's where Tibbs and the Knicks are right now. Can you stand the rain?
Yeah. I'm not sure if does Tibbs know it?
Yeah. You don't get to be, bro, 70-year-olds are some of the smartest and experienced people on the planet, bro. 70-year-olds, bro, they know stuff, bro. They know stuff, right? Could either they learned it in school or they experienced it.
Yeah. I think what we've witnessed this last month, playing 500 ball, I think if the calendar said December, this would be the end.
Oh, excuse me. Another New Edition song. Is this the end?
Yeah. I think if we weren't so advanced into the season, I think this would probably be the end. A month of 500 ball, which could have been worse. No answers. Nothing planned. Like, we're gonna do something different. The Knicks have in the past few years, in the 5 years, have had bad losing streaks, but they tried something and they reinvented something, and then we go on a win streak. There's nothing being done differently.
All right.
There's no we're gonna try something different. We're gonna bust this slump. No, we're just gonna keep doing what we're doing. No.
Yeah.
And I think very easily some people could say, hey, Jalen Brunson's out. But with Jalen Brunson out, certain things should improve. I could see not having enough points, but certain things should improve with Jalen Brunson out. Nothing's improved with Jalen Brunson's out. I just don't see it.
I ain't gonna front, bro. I think what's gonna happen this summer, and well, let me stay on the point with you with Jalen Brunson. Yeah, okay, okay.
I think Tibbs' solution is wait for Jalen Brunson.
That can't be the solution, bro.
His solution is wait for Jalen Brunson, and instead of like, yo, we need to do something now.
Right. What is that thing that we need to do?
It's maximizing who we have right now. I just don't see. I see Mikel's, focusing more on Mikel, but it's just we can have so much more ball movement with Jalen off the floor, and that hasn't been a focus. I think that would have been probably the obvious thing to do. Are we just going to share the ball more? I would think if we shared the ball more, we get I was expecting a better looking offense. Even though we're missing 26 points a game. But something more free flowing, something more fun without Jalen Brunson dribbling the air out the ball. I don't.
You know what you're missing?
What am I missing?
So I'm going to disagree with you on the ball movement thing. I think we're moving the ball way more than I think we're moving the ball about twice as much as we moved it without Jalen Brunson. I think we're missing bucket getters, though. Right? Because when I look at, I'm just going to take tonight's game for an example, right? Cameron Payne was 2 for 8. OG Anunoby was 7 for 19. Deuce McBride was 4 for 10. Cat, the center, was 10 for 21. Precious Achiuwa was 1 for 5 and uninspiring. Right? Landry Shamet, the calculator's god, Landry Shamet was 0 for 3. And with bad defense. Off the bench. Right? And so when it comes to the ball movement, I think you have to consider, well, let me say this. Nick Yak is in the building. Salute Nick Yak. I got something to say to Nick Yak. I'm going to just say it after this. I think the Knicks lack so much offense that when you put one offensive player on the floor with them, with the guys, it makes that one offensive player look inept. Now, here's the thing. People are going to say buzz phrases, right? Oh, my God, the 5 out, pick and roll, set a high screen. What the fuck? What the hell y'all talking about? How you going to run 5 out with 4 offensive players on the floor? It don't even make sense. What are we talking about? Like, we going to run 5 out. We have 5 dudes on the floor and 3 of them are offensive players. And you talking about 5 out. That don't even make sense. And then saying, man, we need to run more pick and roll. You just can't run more pick and roll. You have to have a pick and roll maestro. We ran pick and roll tonight with Deuce, and it looked terrible. And it's not Deuce's fault. He's miscast. In my mind, I think Tom Thibodeau doesn't have any answers left. I think the bag is empty. I legitimately think Tom Thibodeau's bag is empty, right? I'll give an example. Fritz, you remember when Charlotte threw the 2-3 zone at us and Cameron Payne came out and kept jacking threes? Remember that part? Mm-hmm. And he was just jacking threes, trying to get them out of the zone. And Tibbs sat him and brought in Cat, and Cat hit 2 threes in a row. And you're like, bruh, you got Cameron Payne and Landry Shamet on the bench, and they can't shoot. What else do they provide? Right? Because Cameron Payne is streaky, right? And Landry Shamet is trash, and he's been trash since day one. Meanwhile, we see his replacement playing for Charlotte absolutely roasting Josh Hart. We trade away Daquan Jeffries, right, and bring in Landry Shamet. And Landry Shamet roasts Josh Hart with the first 3 minutes, first 4 minutes? Was it, Fritz?
Yeah, more than that, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
10 in the first quarter or something like that.
Right. Yeah. Now, I will say this I'm going to say this to Nick Yak before I forget. Nick Yak, I feel like if Mitchell Robinson would have played, we'd have beat this team by 20. Right? I believe if Mitchell Robinson, simply by playing Mitchell Robinson tonight, we'd have beat this team by 20. Right? All the little deflected rebounds straight to a Charlotte Hornet. They get the little putback floaters from 3 feet. None of that's happening with Mitchell Robinson in the game. None of that's happening if Mitch is in there. Now, with that said, you don't want to play Mitch on a night of a back-to-back because you don't want to, the re-risk of injury is higher. I get it. But what I'm saying is, if this game was Friday night instead of Thursday night and Mitchell Robinson played, we watched this team up by 25 points. It's my opinion, and I may be wrong, right? And I may be wrong, but I think we got out-rebounded by this team tonight.
14. By 14, I think.
We got out-rebounded by the Charlotte Hornets by 14 rebounds. That's disgusting for me to even say. Fritz, I'm here to say, bro, that the Knicks may not win. What's the Knicks record right now? The Knicks are 43-26. So they've played 69 games. The Knicks have played 69 games. That means there are
13
games to go.
Yeah, 13.
The Knicks may not win 50 games, bro. Chat, this Knicks team may not win 50 games. And I know y'all are going to be like, Uncle Freezy, always be so negative. Nah, bro, I don't want to be negative, man. I want to be positive. Can y'all imagine what the show would be like if we just made the Eastern Conference Finals? Brandon, what would this channel be like if the Knicks made the Eastern Conference Finals? What would this channel right here, the one that y'all come to and contribute to on it used to be every night, but maybe every other night now, just because of schedule. But what would the channel be like if the Knicks made the NBA Finals? What would y'all contributions be like if the Knicks knocked off the Celtics, knocked off the Cavs, and lost to the Oklahoma City Thunder in the finals? What would this channel be like?
Couldn't tell us nothing.
Couldn't tell us nothing. Right? DSJ, what would this channel be like if the Knicks just got some success? What would this channel be like if the Knicks won 65 games and made the Eastern Conference Finals? Things would be different. But what happens is there's a sect of fans, and I don't fault them for being who they are, because that's a personality trait, that are obsessed with mid. They're obsessed with it, right? There is a sect of Knicks fans that just want to be a part of the conversation and not be the conversation. Can y'all imagine for a minute what life would be like as a Knicks fan with the Knicks being the conversation? Not a part of the conversation, Like Fritz, you ever looked at a poster, like a dunk poster? Like, you ever seen a dunk poster, maybe Vince Carter dunking on somebody, right? And the look on his face looking mean. They're like, oh, I remember that Vince dunk. Well,
Yep.
the dude getting dunked on is a part of that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Chat, y'all feel me? Like, the dude getting dunked on in that poster is also a part of the poster. Should I be proud of that? That's why when people say, hey, man, Uncle Freezy, sometimes, man, you just come across so negative. You can't see the bright side. I'm like, nah, dog. Listen, when the bright side gets here, I'll appreciate it. But nobody's going to tell me that Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart loves the Knicks more than I do. I've been a fan longer than they've been alive. Shit, Fritz, too. Fritz, when these dudes were born, you were 15 years old, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that for a minute. Like, when these dudes, like, you were 15 years old before these dudes were alive.
Yeah.
For Jalen Brunson, you were 17 years old before Jalen Brunson was born.
Mm.
What can they tell you about the Knicks, bro? My man JJ was 7 years old when Josh Hart was born. My man JJ legit could put stuff in the microwave, work the microwave when Josh Hart was born. My man DSJ legitimately was looking at girls before Josh Hart was born. What can they tell us about the Knicks, bro? They can't tell us about love. You can't tell me about how to love the Knicks, bro. Snipes was legitimately, Snipes Entertainment might have had his driver's license before Josh Hart was born. Snipes Entertainment might have had his driver's license before Josh Hart was born. You can't shoot me the gas about stuff like culture. We've been in this thing too long. Like Keith Turner legitimately, right? Legitimately has been a Knicks fan longer than these dudes on the roster have been alive, bro. Not to mention Dottier. Some of y'all been married before. Some of y'all were married before Pacom Dottier was born. Fritz, legitimately, what were you doing, bro? Where were you as a 25-year-old? Like, don't tell me. I'm just, this is a thought exercise. Think about that, bro. 20 years ago, where were you in your life? You don't have to share. I'm just saying, just think about it. That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy just to think about. That's why when dudes like Josh Hart says stuff like culture and yo, where the minutes police at tonight, man? I played 43 minutes. Hey, Josh Hart, today is March 21st, and you look tired as a donkey right now. But 6 weeks ago, you were laughing about the minutes police comment. That was funny. Right now, you look exhausted. Yo, Brandon Williams was legit. Yo, Brandon Williams said 20 years ago, he was graduating from middle school.
Mm.
That man was in middle school when Pacom Dottier was born.
Man.
And somebody who was traded here is trying to tell us about how to be a Knicks fan. My bad, Fritz. I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro. I'm sorry.
Nah, I said 20 years ago, I was working 80-hour week. I remember.
But can barely watch the games, right? Barely catch a game, right?
Barely catch a game. I had to like listen to it on the radio. While I was working. Yep.
Right. Nick, yeah, I'm with you on the Spurs and Hornets game. That's not fair. Right. But when the Knicks decided to accept the Derrick Rose jersey retirement game so that they can get those how many days they got off for that Derrick Rose retirement game? They got like 5 days off, right?
Like 5 days, yeah.
Yeah, they were off like on a Saturday. I mean, that happened like on a Saturday night, and they missed Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yep, they played that Friday. Yeah, they missed 5 games, but they had like a mini vacation before the All-Star break. So, I mean, they chose to do that. So, I mean, I'm not going to blame them now for, being tired. Josh Hart said being tired is not an excuse. That's not in our culture. Our culture is we don't make excuses. That's what Josh Hart said. Yeah. My thing is, I guess ultimately where I'm frustrated is the Knicks losing these games. A lot of teams are going to lose games without their best player. Right? No team that loses their best player is going to be the same, right? I get that. I understand. I'm reasonable. Right? Where I'm unreasonable is when bravado gets in the way of common sense. We're tough. Tibbs, you're not tough. Trust me, Tom Thibodeau, you are not tough. Tom Thibodeau is not tough, right? I'm just gonna play these guys until they're gonna give me their all, and then when they get injured, they're gonna play someone else. Nah, bro, that's not tough. That's stupid. Your strategy can't be will over skill. Your strategy has to be will and skill together.
Smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
One of the two. Smarter, not harder works as well. But yeah.
Which one you want? Smart or hard? I mean, bro, you're gonna have both. Because think about this: as tough as Bruce Lee was, he was probably the most skilled martial artist ever. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter how tough you are if you don't have skill. The strategy can't be like, oh, just play harder than them. Like, Fritz, you ever heard the saying, we wanted it more than they did?
I don't like that. I hate that saying. I hate that saying because it's not true.
Yep. It's absolutely not true. Because you can't quantify that. How? And I hate to sound like a windbag about it, but Tom Thibodeau gets paid a lot of money to come up with answers. And the fact that he's not coming up with answers is and Fritz, one other thing that I hang my hat on, right? The one thing I trust Tom Thibodeau to do is get hot the last 20 games of the season. And guess what he's not doing this year?
Yeah.
Getting hot the last 20 games of the season.
I think this is the first time. Like, 5th year, we've gotten hot every year at the end.
The previous 4 years, down the stretch, Tom Thibodeau in the last 20 games, his record is 13-7.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's actually like 12.8 and like 7.2 or something like that. I'm just saying 13-7.
Yeah. Just the first year it wasn't, because that's when I think Derrick Rose got hurt or something.
Yeah.
But outside of that, the end of the year has always been our best part of the year.
Yeah. Yep. The irony is in the last 13 games, the Knicks have Cleveland, Boston, Phoenix, Atlanta, Cleveland again, and Philly ain't nobody. Portland ain't nobody. Milwaukee, the Clippers. We play the Clippers next Wednesday. We play Dallas next Tuesday. Washington Saturday. So we have the Clippers twice, the Celtics, Phoenix. So we have 1, 2, 3. Wait a minute. We have the Pistons. That game's gonna be tough too. So we have one. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 tough games out of 13.
Mm-hmm.
And in order for the Knicks to win 50 games, they have to win 7 games. They have to win 7 out of 13. If they win 6 out of 13, they won't win 50 games. And Knicks Nation is gonna blame Cat. Because we love a scapegoat. Alan Wise says that's because he turns the defense up this year. The motor not turning over. Yeah, it's not turning over. Nah. Nick Yak says that don't help. Flying 3,000 miles, 1,200 and 1,200 in 3 games in 4 days, 5,400 miles in 2 games back to back. And those 5 games can't help tonight's game. Hey man, yeah, I'm with you. I think if Mitchell Robinson played, we win. That's my answer. And that's not me being sarcastic. That's me being real, right? If Mitchell Robinson plays tonight, his team is different.
But with Nick Yak's point, that's a lot of travel. So you should plan accordingly.
Yeah.
And how you play and how you should plan accordingly. And it should have been in your game plan.
Yeah. And Tom Thibodeau knew about this schedule back in September. Did he know about the injuries back in September? Nah. Let's be fair. He didn't know about the schedule back in September. But he knew about this schedule back in September. And the irony is every team we play a whole bunch of no-name dudes, and we can't play our no-name dudes. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, bro. Snipes says 50 wins to the ceiling. He expected 55. Snipes, I predicted 64. Remember that? 62. I think I said 63 and 19, I think.
This is a 60 win roster.
Yeah. Yeah. That's with Mitch coming back from injury also, everybody. Right. Right. That's with Precious walking off the floor in the last preseason game of the season. We should have won 60-something games. That's with Jumpman here. That's with Ariel Huckporty. Yeah. What's your prediction for the playoffs?
I'm still going second round. I'm not gonna talk about that whole Detroit fans talking crazy. I'm still gonna say second round.
What? Pistons fans want the Knicks, is what you saying?
Not Knicks fans are, those who have it out for Thibodeau are saying that they're gonna fall in the first round.
I'm gonna say this: if Mitchell Robinson, Cat, OG, Huck Porty, and Precious are healthy, I think we're going to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Despite Tom Thibodeau, or because
Yeah. Yep.
Is it despite Tom Thibodeau or because of Tom Thibodeau?
Nah, it's because the Knicks want to see. I think they're going to rally around Tibbs so that Tibbs can be the coach for the next 3 years.
Nah, I've seen enough. I've seen enough,
Bro. I think they're going to rally around Tibbs and play for that man's job, because they know the sooner they lose, the sooner the coach is going to. And
he should have performed better. It's not. It's his performance. His performance is lacking. The team can win or lose, but his performance needed to be better. And the lessons learned last year weren't learned. We survived a disaster. We ran into Indiana and hit an absolute disaster, and it should never ever happen again. Like some of the lessons that we should have learned from Indiana are some things that should never happen again. This roster, we have a whole half a roster we don't use.
Right.
And that's what we learned from Indiana not to do. That's what I learned.
Bro, Tom Thibodeau is 30 wins away from passing Jeff Van Gundy all time. You know what that means, right? He got to come back next year to pass Jeff Van Gundy.
You can do that from the box seats. You can do that, on the box seats for series.
Bro,
I'm telling you, head of development or
hell no,
vice assistant of marketing or whatever you want to give him, whatever name job you want to give him.
Man, we're gonna put that man over there with we're gonna put him over there with Steve Mills, bro. Whatever Steve Mills is doing. Huh?
Mm-hmm. Hey, you show up, you have a little office, you could disappear for 8 hours and
yeah. Tom Thibodeau is 5 wins away from passing Pat Riley for third all time.
He'll get
He's gonna do that this year, and then come back and get those other wins passing Van Gundy next year. Yeah. Next year, Tibbs gonna come back implementing the triangle.
Okay. If Tibbs comes back, and I like Leon Rose what he's done, but he gonna have to pack too.
So yeah.
If Tibbs comes back, when Tibbs pack, he might as well pack his stuff too.
Fritz, I don't think you understand. I don't think you understand, bro. I think you in denial, bro.
I'm not. You know what? I'm not in denial. I think I think it's evident that he shouldn't be here. And then they're giving him grace. They're giving him more rope than they would have given another coach. And if you're going to give a little bit more rope, you got to go too.
Nah, they not giving him that. They're going to give him the velvet rope. Bro, celebrities only, bro. Red carpet.
Mm.
Tibbs is going to come back, run the triangle offense, and run and have Fritz be his errand guy. He be like, hey, run down here to the cigarette machine. He gonna give you 2 dimes so you can go to the cigarette machine and get him a pack of cigarettes and bring his coffee black in one of them blue and white cups, right? Black, no coffee, no sugar, no cream, none of that. And he was like, hey, Fritz, draw this play up, draw this triangle on the chalkboard for me. That's what it's gonna be like. Tom Thibodeau is gonna park his 1964 Continental out front, and it's gonna be.
He got him a nice ride. He got a nice little.
Way.
He got a nice little.
Oh, I saw it.
He got a nice little ride. You seen that?
I'm proud of him, bro. I'm proud of him.
I mean, he got 3 more years of checks coming.
Yeah, man. $30 million.
3 more years. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I ain't mad at that part, bro. It's whatever. Make your money.
No. Yeah, make your money. Like, make them pay for what you did for them.
Yeah.
But
ultimately it's the fans paying it anyway.
Yeah. But he has a bench. I don't know. He must have the most assistants in the league. Like because I did like a thing and he has like 7 assistants. You trying to tell me 7 assistants? This is the best you come up with?
Bro, these are not assistants, bro. You mean assistants in title?
Yeah, assistants in title. Yeah. You don't use them during the game, but man, I think at some point I'm always looking at it from a corporate standpoint. But there has to come a point where you have to say, hey, you need to do better. I don't care how you do it, but you need to do better in these areas. And, but what I see, but what we see, there's even an effort. And I could see if Tom Thibodeau made some adjustments and the adjustments failed, but just to make no adjustment at all just makes me frustrated.
Yeah,
that we're doing the same thing. That we're doing the same thing. It's like, yo, you didn't even try something.
Tibbs is coming back next year, running the Curtis Blow offense. Tibbs coming back running the give and go. Man, no, man, you just come stand right here. He gonna pass you the ball. He gonna run by you, and then guess what? You gonna give it back to him, and we gonna call it the give and go. That's what Tibbs gonna come back next year with, bro. Tibbs is gonna be like, bro, I promise you. Are we suggesting that someone that's notoriously stubborn, going away, getting older, and coming back less stubborn?
I think
I already know what you want to say.
There's a reason why they call it ultimatums. There's a reason why they call it ultimatums.
Right.
It's adapt
or die.
Or the consequences. Yeah, adapt or die. Adapt or consequences.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't see where anybody has forced him to adapt. I haven't verbally heard someone says he has to adapt. So the assumption, me as a fan, if I don't see any movement or adapting, it means that Rose is failing in his job. There was a time in MSG where Dolan had the GM march out there and said that loss was not acceptable.
Yeah.
And we were laughed at that moment. Yeah. But the moment was to show that there needed to be a change. And then we're gonna do better. But
Yep.
there is zero messaging and there's zero indication that this is unacceptable.
That's why we're going to come back running the triangle offense next year. And Mitch is getting an extension, and Bridges, and Josh Hart, and Deuce.
Double down.
Anyway, let me, because I got a couple of minutes. Just want to say this. Thank you, everybody, for coming through, rocking with us. I'm going to get out of here, man. I'm going to post some clips later on, probably in the morning. Fritz, you got anything to say before we get out of here, bro? Anything that you had on your mind?
We need to do better as people. And as an organization.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. The revolution will be televised. That's because yeah, we got to give the people what they want. Right. Hey man, thank you everybody for coming through. Thank you for hanging out while I went on my rant. I appreciate y'all. Consider subscribing to the channel. You know what I'm saying? Hit that like button. We'll probably holler at y'all around this time tomorrow night. Peace, everybody. Fritz, what you gonna do?